How we doing, everybody? Hope you're all well. Welcome in here. Welcome in, everybody. Okay. Hello, how we doing? Hope you're all well tonight. Everyone okay? Hello, Abir Khan. Bir Khan. Sounds like, when some people say that when a Jamaican person pronounces bacon, they say beer can. Beer can. Beer can. Crispy beer can. Huh. How you doing tonight, everybody? Welcome in. Say hello if you're there. Hit the like button, everybody. Hello, J.A. Works. Thoughts on van life. I was actually talking a bit about that before, and, well, like I said, I think it's good that it provides freedom, but for a lot of people it's difficult to kind of get started with that because a lot of it's mental. It's like a lot of it's just breaking out of your comfort zone that a lot of people are going to struggle with. But I think that if you set it up right, then it can still be, a good way to live and give people freedom. So yeah, I think it comes down to the individual. Some people might try it and think it's not for them, but you'll never know unless you try. There's some people that even go more extreme and do things like wild camping and just traveling around different spots and things. But you just have to try and set it up properly so that it's going to work, or more likely to work for you. Make sure that you've got at least some comfort. Make sure you've got some heating and stuff like that so you can keep it nice and warm and shit like that, Anyway, how are we doing, people? Hope you're all well. What you all want to talk about then? We're all speaking in capital letters. Someone said that the other day. Hello, Sunny Hasnain. How you doing? Welcome in. If anyone's new here, hit that subscribe button. Yeah. Nam, how you doing? Okay, well, I can't help my voice, you know, that's just the way it is. Okay. Let me put a poll in chat or something. Do you have a side hustle? Yes or no? Let's try this. Okay, Sadie. Anyway, hope you're all well. Hello, Mary Russell. What do you mean this? What are you saying? So, what does everybody want to talk about then? I've not really got much plans, so I just kind of, just talking a bit about the whole van life thing, but apparently they're trying to crack down on it and stuff and make it harder for people to pitch up their van. What does that mean, not Enigma? What do you mean? Yeah, I hope you're all well tonight anyway, people. Again, share this out if you can. That would be really appreciated. Okay, Rahul. I mean, that's like your opinion. But yeah, London's, not somewhere I'd want to live. What time do I go to sleep? Whenever I decide. I don't have a specific time for it. Okay. Anyway, share the live out if you can. That would be really appreciated. Hit that like button as well. I mean, there might be some good areas of London, but yeah, it's just really busy, and I don't like too much hustle and bustle, really. I like it to be nice and quiet, personally, but that's just me. Yeah, some people like all the hustle and bustle, but not for me, really. So I'm not somebody that really goes out partying and shit like that, so it would not appeal to me whatsoever. I like it more kind of quiet. I'd rather live out in the sticks, you know. I mean, I'm actually pretty close to the countryside where I am, but yeah. Okay, you. People who live in London never go to Central unless they're going for a night out. Oh yeah. But even in some of the outskirts, it's very, very busy a lot of the time. I mean, unless you're like way, way out somewhere where it's quiet, but yeah. It's just people everywhere. No, I don't drive. No. I don't even have a driving license, so I couldn't drive. And I haven't got any intention of doing. So anyway. Hope you've all had a good day, people. Share the live out if you can. Alright. Lots of rich Londoners moving there. Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, it's not somewhere I'd really want to live. It's not my thing. I mean, some people might need to move there for like more networking opportunities or whatever, but I have no interest in any of that. I'd rather live a more quiet life away from so many people, really, personally. Even if it meant that I earned less. Yeah. The thing with the countryside is you can get like a house that's like twice as good for like like a fraction of the price. You know what I mean? It's like you've got, yeah, like the prices in London are mental. Like you can be paying like 2,000 plus just for rent a month. Hello, crazy dude. Okay, like the prices are absolutely ridiculous. Like, I mean, unless you're earning over probably £7,000-8,000 a month, then I don't see the point in even living in London. Like if you're earning 4,000 or 5,000 a month, then what's the point? Half of your money is probably going to go on rent, unless you're like in a family where you're splitting it. Like if you're splitting a few ways, then you might be paying a few £100 a month in rent. But you could buy a house in the countryside for like maybe £200,000-300,000 and it's a pretty good size, and it can fit a whole family in it. So, you know what I mean? And your repayments are probably cheaper than the fucking place that in the bed sit in London. So some people end up actually being richer in the countryside. I guess it depends on where your income's coming from. If you can be like one of these sort of like with like a income stream that's not tied to a specific location, then it might not be a good idea living in London potentially. But depends if there's benefits in terms of networking opportunities and things like that. But there's always going to be pros and cons to everything. But yeah, they all save up and buy B&Bs in Devon, Cornwall, etc. Price the locals out. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? It's just bullshit. Yeah. A lot of people can't even get on the property ladder anymore. It's just, there's not much hope for a lot of people now and trying to get on the property ladder. There's a lot of people who've come out of university, they've not got a lot of prospects. Depending on what type of degree that they've got student debt to pay off, and they didn't get anything. Hello, Aussie Bob, not seen you for ages. How are you doing? Hope you're well. They've got nothing to show for it. It's bullshit. Okay, can you stop spamming the chat, please? What you are talking about is by design. I know, pretty much, isn't it? Like all you'll own nothing and be happy. That's what they're trying to do. Make house prices so expensive that young people are priced out of buying it for the most part. Unless you're like really savvy with your money, and you can do that. I do believe if you have the right mindset and you're willing to make temporary sacrifices, although holy love Jesus, if you're willing to just kind of sacrifice a few of the mod cons for a while, then yeah, you could buy yourself a house, I believe. Especially if you can get a few people together. I was actually thinking about this. If say you could get somewhere in the sticks, 3-bedroom house. So you could get a few of you in that. Maybe you could get 5, 6 of you in there, depending on if you want to share certain rooms and stuff. But you're only going to be paying about £40,000 each. So 2-3 years of saving up could potentially be enough to actually just buy the whole thing. Then you're pretty much set for life. You've got yourself you'll share like a nice house in the country somewhere. I mean, I do save some money, yeah. I mean, I probably could save more, but it's win-win-win. Yeah, everyone, if everyone can come together, it's just the problem is trying to find people that are good, to be trustworthy in terms of, because some might say, well, what if somebody decides that they want to leave the place or something, or they just mess up, and when you've got a few people together, then it's like you've got to be careful about who you're buying a house with, because things could go wrong. But what if there's rivalries going on and things like that? So yeah, it never works. You'll fall out. I mean, there is that, but it's just I was thinking about in terms of making things cheaper, so that instead of having to spend hundreds of thousands to buy a house. You just buy yourself. I mean, ideally, if you found that yourself a partner, then that splits it at least into two. But it's just one of those things that, I mean, unless you could somehow, say if you bought a decent house and then you kind of split it up to where everyone has their own rooms. I don't know if that's possible, but say if you bought like a complex, maybe a good few people could buy a whole complex and just like subdivide it into different rooms and stuff. That way, everyone kind of keeps themselves to themselves, maybe something like that. So it could be like a whole sort of apartment block or something, and let's say 100 people can fit in it. And then, let's say it cost £1 million, let's say, you're literally only paying about 10,000 each or so. But, you know what I mean? I'm just thinking of different possibilities of, you know, if we all come together, we put resources together, then we could do a lot better. I was just wondering if it's possible to buy apartment blocks for sale, if there's actual, like, you know, sort of I mean if you could just have like a block of apartment or something and just kind of get a bunch of people to chip in or something, you know, you could just say like, oh yeah, let's buy this apartment block or something, and so let's have a look and see what's out there. I mean, we've got here, for example, well, I don't know where this is. Whereabouts is this? 244,000 7-bedroom block of apartments. So let's say we all just had one bedroom. That only makes it, you know, cost about 30-odd thousand each. As in America, you can have intentional communities everywhere. What do you mean? What do you mean by intentional communities? What do you mean? Hello, Vicky. How you doing? Welcome back. Okay, thank you. Property price highly dependent on location. Let's have a look at another one. We've got £200,000, 4-bedroom block of apartments. So that's £50,000 each. So again, you could probably save that up in about 3-4 years if you're willing to just kind of scrimp and scrape for a while. We've got 330,000 6-bedroom apartment. You know, and a lot of these are, you know, look pretty nice. They're not like some fucking council ones, you know what I mean? Like, we could all own our own. It's kind of like what you get these condos in, like, say, the Philippines, and they go for like next to nothing. Like, if you can, like, go, say, live in the Philippines or Thailand even, and some of them are like going for dirt cheap, but they might not be the best quality. But yeah, I mean, maybe we should look at, yeah, just buy a friggin' apartment block. We've got one here, 920,000 for 15-bedroom of apartments. So that's about probably what, 60, just over 60,000 each. So that's a bit more expensive, but then we've got one here, 285,000, 12 bedrooms. That's in Rothsey, so it doesn't look like it's one of the best areas, but look, inside looks pretty good though. But I don't know if it's, you know, for like any use, whether it has to be for like student or whatever. Let's have a look. It says buy to let opportunity, so maybe it's is it only for buy to let? I'm just wondering if you could, you know, I'd have to see if I could find ones that are rather, you know, for like kind of say, yeah, anyway, you know what I mean? How much, yeah, but it depends on your ways. It depends if you're willing to like do extra, if you're willing to work a few extra hours just to save a bit more money. So either cut down on your spending or save a bit more money. Maybe do a bit of both. But just look and say like you've got one here, 153,000, 3-bedroom apartment. So So you could just say what it says about long-term tenant situated. So yeah, that's it, the thing really with that. I don't know if there's any that say whether I could find one that's not just for like, let's see, apartments for sale, not investments, sort of thing. More just for like, just kind of like curious about. Let's have a look. Can we just stop with this nonsense? They'll just keep on doing it, won't they? So let's have a look. Well, there's some here for York, but they're expensive in York, a lot of them. Intentional communities, what site? Sorry, have I missed something? What you're talking about? What site are you talking about? I'm just talking about, you know, like if you say could get like a house or just whatever, and maybe it would be a house, but I'm just wondering if, say, you could, you know, split it up into different rooms, like say when you've got apartments or something, and you could, let's say flats to buy to, for, yeah. Anyway, is everyone okay? Hope you're well tonight, and if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. So, it's called multiple self-contained apartments, they call it. Make a commune, oh really? I was thinking of the idea of like, buy some land and just have like, say, some caravans or something on it. But it's just can be a bit tricky getting permission with that. But if we could say see what land's for sale, then yeah, we can do that. But let's say, yeah, look, North Yorkshire, for example. Let's go to like price and then go. I want to go for like the cheaper ones, really, but let's have a look. They're varying in prices and stuff, but it's like if you could get quite a few people together, then there's so many YouTube video of people doing just that. You know, about buying land and then just say we could either have static caravans or maybe like a prefab or something. I don't know if a prefab would be allowed. Maybe you'd probably have to get. I don't know if you have to get a different type of permission or something for that, but a little big maxi. I'm just talking about getting land and then sort of using it to kind of live on or something. If people are willing to save and just live in a, you know, like a tiny house or something. Because if people really want to be free and they want to be free from the system as they go on about, then okay, people maybe need to just, you know, combine resources together. Like we've got this here, you know, land, let's say 195,000, but if enough people chipped in on that, then it's like great idea. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, obviously not everyone wants to live in a tiny house, but it's like, what are you going to do then? If you're going to complain about, it's like, you know, sometimes in life you have to make certain sacrifices maybe, but is it really that much of a sacrifice? Is it worth having all this material bullshit and having to kind of, you know what I mean, do all this bullshit to maintain a lifestyle that, to try and impress people that don't care about you? What site are you talking about? What I don't know. I don't. What site did you talk about? I mean, what site? I don't know. Is it called intentional communities or something? I mean, but ideally it's something that you have a kind of like an ownership over. Because I've seen some stuff on like off-grid communities, but then you're expected to pay to live there. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, like if I was to be in some off-grid community, I wouldn't expect to have to pay to live there. You would help do certain things like, you know, growing food or whatever, but you just sent it. Well, where is it? I don't see it. It's way more free is where I'm headed. We were never meant to live like this. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see any link. I don't know if it's just spam or something. As in, it might just see it as spam. But you can't really put links unless you're a moderator. Some more just work to live here. Yeah, that's the thing, is that people just, instead of, living just to have fun and, you know what I mean, their life is based around their job. It's like what frustrates me is when people, the first thing that comes out of their mouth sometimes is, what do you do for a living? It's like, well, like they just kind of tie their identity to what they do to make money, and it's like, to me that's kind of sad, because we need to try and put something together. Like, if people want to actually like live a more kind of simple life or whatever, and just not have to worry about all the stresses of life, then people need to just stop kind of talking about it and just do it. We need to actually come together, and that's what I mean when people living in their office, and it's like, and then some people have to commute as well, you know. And then some people even work extra time. You know, they'll just kind of, sometimes people willingly will, let's say they get to the end of the shift, they have not quite finished, but they'll just try and finish just to try and kind of, you know, to try and leave a good impression, but usually that doesn't end up actually getting them anywhere. Like, you're just then doing unpaid labor at that point, you know, basically a slave. But people, it's the crazy thing is people are willing to do it in a lot of cases. But I'll just finish this assignment off right now because it'll make me look good that I've got this work ethic. But you think they're going to give you a pay raise? I mean, you know, in some cases they might do, but then usually the pay raise is just something that they give you every year, is just in line with inflation. So you're never actually getting ahead. It's all an illusion. Yeah. More colonizing, what the hell? What's this? IC org. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, I know. Let's have a look. Okay. Is it ic.org? Hang on. Okay. Right, let's have a look. Foundation for Intentional Community. That one. Hello, Blue Nose. How you doing tonight, everybody? If you're new here, anybody, make sure you subscribe. The cost of living increases 10%, but a pay rise of like 4% make no sense. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's... I don't exactly know like how much things cost now compared to what they were, because I was looking into this and it claims that the claim was that spending power has gone up since 2000, but I'm not sure if I really believe that. If we're talking for like the average person, has the purchasing power really gone up? I mean, the question is, because it seemed like a lot of people were doing better back in 2000. Like, people were not struggling as much to get on the property ladder. And if people can't get on the property ladder, then they're going to struggle to get ahead financially. But anyway, yeah, I don't think it's gone up. I mean, the prices on a lot of confectionery and stuff like that, I guess it depends on the type of things that you buy. But there are certain things that have relatively gone down in price, like some of the electrical stuff, like say computers they went down in price for a while, and then apparently they've started going back up again. But yeah, well, it seems as though for the average person that purchasing power has gone down. If we're talking about like median salary, let's have a look at this. Spend power for the median salary. Has it gone up or down in recent years? It's just, are they actually being honest when they're saying that it's gone up? Hello, Mercy, how you doing? But it does talk about recent years declining significantly between 2021 and mid-2023 due to high inflation before showing a modest, or in some cases stagnant, recovery in late 2023 into 2025. While nominal wages have risen, high inflation and tax pressures have left many households with either flat or dismal growth in real purchasing power. So that sounds a bit more right. Hello, British. How you doing? Wilmington, NC. What about it? Rent for a 2-bedroom, 1,500 a month. Another 400 for utilities, and a salary around 40k. Yeah. So if you look at that, that's what 1,900 just on rent and utilities. Then you've got to pay for all your other things. Like if you have to drive, you've got to pay for your car. You've got to pay for all of the things associated with that. You've got to pay for food, obviously, and so many other things. I'm from the UK. Where are you from? So yeah, basically, hasn't the government done this thing where they've frozen the tax bracket thresholds, whatever they call it, until 2030 or whatever? Some might call it a stealth tax increase, because while they might not have increased the taxes technically, but what they're doing is, because of inflation, it's going to push a lot of people into higher tax brackets, which means they're going to end up paying more tax. Who's Sam Burgess? Insurance or you lose your license. Yeah, exactly. It's all border bullshit, you know. Like you're forced to pay for insurance that you didn't even ask for. You know what I mean? And some people might say, oh, but we need car insurance or something. And some might say, well, you know, because like, what if, say, somebody crashes into some expensive car or something, it's really like that they need insurance to be able to like cover that or something. But it's like, well, I would say that's your problem. You know, if you're going to have some expensive car, then I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. You know? Like, all these expensive cars are just all a bunch of pretentious crap. Like, people trying to just look like they're cool. Look at me and my McLaren or whatever. I just don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you crash your car or whatever and cause damage, and, you know, if someone crashes into you. I mean, it's like, I mean, obviously I don't want people to get hurt. I don't mean it as in that, but it's like, I don't think that, you know, it's just, to me, it's like, if you're going to have, like, something expensive, why would you want to take the risk of getting it damaged? I don't know. That's kind of how I see it. I don't know, it's just the whole idea of paying for car insurance is to pay for some fucking, if in case somebody damages some rich person's car or something. So then you'd be paying to bail out somebody else in that case, right? Because if you never actually claim on your, if you have never any claims on your insurance, then wouldn't it be like that you're bailing somebody else out? I just don't really agree with shit like that. It's actually against all rights according to the Bill of Rights, but they seem money racket and went with it. Yeah, it's like if you're somebody who is going around in some expensive car, then if you can't afford to pay for like damages on it, that's your fucking problem, is how I see it. Whatever. That's just kind of my opinion on it. Like, maybe you shouldn't, like, now you could say, well, if it was somebody else's fault, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like the idea of bailing out other people, and I don't know, like, if somebody has like, where someone crashes into someone else's car, then it's actually the other people are actually paying for that. You know what I mean? Let's say there's damage that costs tens of thousands of pounds in some cases. They crashed their Maserati, or they crashed their Bentley or whatever. Like, well, someone crashed into it and they caused someone else damage. But I think that person should be like, you could say, well, that person should be the one paying for it all, and not some fucking insurance company that's basically, you could argue, stealing money off other people to pay for someone else's damage. But I would just say that you probably shouldn't really be going out in some expensive ass car anyway. You know what I mean? Like, cars are just there to like transport. Like, a lot of these cars are not good for the environment anyway. They're just pumping out a bunch of diesel and whatever bullshit. And you could say, well, it might be a Tesla, but most of the cases, like, these cars are just not even good for the environment. They're like, 10 miles to the gallon or some shit like that, Going out trying to show off and be all like pretentious. I'm from the UK. Where are you from? Renters insurance is even more stupid. Apartments make you get it, but then when my car is hit in the parking lot, they do nothing. Yeah, it's bullshit, really, but it's like, I don't think that, yeah. Hello, Agarai. How you doing? Okay, thank you. Hey, real Yukadon. Why would you want to work at my home? What the hell? Oh, goodness. Ilya, I'm from the UK. Where are you from? It's just like the whole thing of bailing people out, let's say, with how they were bailing out the banks during the 2008 financial crash. Like, why do that, Why bail out the banks, Because if you're going to, like, do that, then that just encourages banks to be more reckless. Yeah, it just, I just find it's just like a reckless thing to be doing, isn't it, really? But this is the thing, when, if people know that they're going to get bailed out, then they're not going to really care too much. But yeah, I mean, I do think generally, if you're going to like crash into a car, you should pay the whole thing. Even if it makes you go into debt or something, it's not everybody else's problem. It's like, for example, with the whole national insurance, that's another thing, right? Like, if people are, they're careful with their health, they don't get themselves into any stupid situations that can lead to bad health outcomes, why should they be paying the same amount as someone who's, say, doing stupid stuff like, having stupid accidents. Let's say they fell out of a fucking balcony or some shit because they were drunk or whatever. Like, should those people not be like, you know, I mean, maybe they should start paying more on their insurance or something in that case. Because maybe it would teach people to be more responsible. I don't know. Just a thought. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but I just don't like the idea that it's everybody else's problem if you get yourself into reckless situations. It's all an op. Yeah, what you mean, all an op? You mean like, not a psyop, I mean, hang on. Fractal banking, yeah, fractal banking. What's it? Let's have a look. Fractal banking. All these fancy words, isn't there? Like, yeah. Oh, you mean fractional reserve banking? So, system where banks hold only a small percentage of customer deposits as reserves, lending out the remainder to generate profit and expand the money supply. By keeping only a fraction on hand, banks facilitate economic activity through credit, though it risks bank runs if many depositors withdraw funds simultaneously. Yeah, hello Kinga. So let's have a look at what led to the crash. To call it the US housing bubble, driven by excessive subprime mortgage lending and the collapse of related high-risk securitized financial products. This resulted in massive bank failures, a global credit freeze, and a severe economic downturn. So basically, they're just lending out too much, for what it seems. And yeah, basically, like, rapidly increasing home prices created an unsustainable bubble. When prices stopped rising, borrowers could not repay, causing widespread defaults. That's all banks work in short. That you give 100, they keep 20 in the bank and that lend the other 80. Your money can never be cleaned out and they can deny you to get money out. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's a bit of a, yeah, it's not the most safe thing really, but yeah. Like, some people think that, you know, putting money into a bank account is safer than, say, putting it in, like, stocks, for example. I mean, stocks has their own risks, but there's a chance that bankers could fuck up and then a lot of people end up, like I said, you know, doing, you know, defaulting on mortgages and stuff, but yeah, I hope everyone's well. Buy gold. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that actually, and it's just that it can be quite volatile, but a lot of things are volatile though. Anyway, I hope you're all well tonight. Share the live out if you can. Don't know how much longer I'm staying on though, but rare minerals is Lawrence at tungsten, gold, silver. What do you mean tungsten? Hello Hannes, how you doing tonight? I hope you're well. I mean, yeah, but what if, say, you don't want to necessarily do, you know, 10, 20 years investment, and, you know, it's just, maybe you want money for, like, shorter term investment, then it's risky for that. So maybe for that, then some kind of more kind of, hello Emily, how you doing? I hope you're well. Some might say that if you can get yourself into like property market, that could be one, like doing. This is where you could get a few people together. Again, this could be an idea. Hello Harry. Hello Paddy. Paddy. What are you saying? So bringing people together to like maybe they do some property investing, put all the resources together. You know. That way, it's a lot easier to get yourself onto that. So you're not having to like. Because the problem is that if you try and do a buy-to-let mortgage, then in some cases the mortgage doesn't even pay for the rent. And even if it does, you probably don't have any profit because then you've got to pay for insurance on it. But if you split on a house, let's say, you just buy a few rentals, then yeah, that might work. But you could, again, going back to the whole thing of buying apartment complexes and stuff, that might be an idea. You could get like a dozen people living in them and stuff and make a whole bunch of money off it. That's how some families get property in Australia. They put 12 people in a house and they all save together one at a time. Everyone gets a deposit. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's but what I'm saying is that if they come together and then they might even be able to like put all that together and pay for the entire thing instead of having to like be stuck in a mortgage for like many years doing it themselves. But I know we were saying how not everyone wants to do that. So maybe there's a way of doing it where everyone has their own space and everyone's kind of like not getting in each other's way. I don't know. Because people can fall out. That's the only problem. Is if you have a dozen people in one building, what if they all start falling out and having clashes? Then what happens then? So if it's done in a way where there's different subdivided units within the building, maybe it could work then, but that could be more expensive, I don't know. What do you mean buy something better? What are you saying? Okay, take care. My wells. But I'm just saying like some ideas about, bringing your resources together. They say the sum of the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. That's synergy. So yeah, some do pay outright, but that's $500,000 for a house that's not falling down and would be over an hour and a half drive to the city. Yeah, it sounds like it's pretty bad where you are, but some of the house prices are ridiculous over there. Whereas here, I mean, let's just say, country houses for sale. I mean, if you're looking at, say, like a decent house, right? It's a country house. Okay, man, hello. So let's say, for example, if we go to sort by lowest price, let's look at some good price ones. But who's to say you have to be near the city, You know what I mean? It's like, maybe we don't want to be near the city. Maybe it's nice to be away from the city. I don't know, everyone's different, but I like the idea of being away from the city, as far away from the city as possible. Yeah. There's one here, 3-bedroom country house, 210,000. That's probably about one of the cheapest ones. 280,000, 315,000, but there's one going here for 315,000 for 3 bedrooms. So if you had, say, like a few people kind of split on that or something, but 3 acres. Oh yeah, oh really? 475k. Well, it's good if you've got 3 acres, but maybe you could even rent out some of that land and then have people stay on it, perhaps. Couldn't you maybe use that land for, say, I don't know, it's an idea, like caravan rentals or something. Well, as in like land rent or something for caravans or for tents or whatever. The Australian fella, what are you on about? He's gonna get into a relationship with a farmer. Oh goodness. Yeah, so we've got like different price ones. Some of them are like we've got 350,000 2-bedroom house, like cottages and stuff, so 4-bedroom 375,000. It's just like I said, it depends if people can live together, Yeah. But the good thing is you could just do whatever you want. You could party all night, and just be away from anything. You never make too much noise, Anyway, I hope you've all had a good day, people. If anyone's new here, hit that subscribe button. But you could even just buy land and just put some tiny houses on it, like I said, depending on how people want to live. But it's just there's options, is what I'm saying. There's options. Okay, peasant. Thank you. Yes, the stars. Yeah, you could get a lot better star views, wouldn't you? Less air pollution, light pollution. I mean, also air pollution as well, but light pollution is the main factor with lack of visibility. But yeah, I have considered letting people rent. Yeah, so you're talking about like having people either maybe for like you could do caravan, like a caravan site potentially. I don't know if it's enough space for that. I'm pretty sure it would be. Or it could be for like, say, people camping out, which might be a more kind of realistic one. I don't know. There's different options there, but many families looking for a place to put a caravan or even a rent. Yeah, a tent. Yeah, exactly. Maybe it could be a mix of both. I don't know. It could be a mixture of caravans and tents. But yeah, if they're living in a caravan, then they pay ground rent. So it'd be like, let's say, £200, £300 a month or whatever, which would include whatever facilities, like they would get like access to certain amenities, maybe something like that. If they help me run the veggie garden and yeah, that would be an idea if they help you with, that could be an idea. I was thinking something actually that if, say, I had some land, what I could do is if I got a tiny house, and what I would do, right, I could grow food on there, pretty much just never actually do any of the growing it, and basically have peasants working on my land. I would just kind of like, they would just get basically like a free, they would be able to like, have some of their own, the food that they produce, and they would just get a place to stay, And then, yeah, basically, yeah, peasants. Oh, goodness. Funnily enough, I have actually changed it. Have you not noticed? It's a different colour one, so nice try. Yeah. No, you want to be a squire. What do you mean a squire? What's a squire? Hello, Fernie. How you doing? Yeah. I'd be like the peasant, whatever they call it, like the lord or whatever, What is that? Really? Oh, really? Okay. Whatever. How have you been anyway, Fernie? Just didn't expect you to come in here at this time of night, but yeah, I was out at a fitness thing earlier. I just kind of spontaneously decided, yeah, let's just go to it. I've not been to it for a while, doing a bunch of running and stuff. Yeah, a few different exercises there. It was, and then we did a bit of like volunteer stuff. So we were doing some like moving some compost. Hello, Lemon Orange. How you doing? But like rainbows and lordship. Oh yeah, I'd be the landlord, and just I could have people work on the land for me. Yeah, because I could say like offer it as some kind of, because you could do that whole work away thing, can't you? You know, where I could say like have people, if people say want to come to this country, and then they could come to my land and then sort of, I don't know, it's an idea. They basically work on the land and they provide some service, and then they get some free accommodation for that, and maybe some free food as well. So yeah, we have many things in common if you appear every time when I scroll the videos on YouTube, really. If I charged $80 a week to stick a caravan on my land and they helped with producing food, I'd be happy, yeah. Yeah, I suppose, yeah. But then what if they're putting a tent, how much would you charge for that? Some people charge £10 a night, £20 a night, whatever, it depends on where you're from, but some of the more posh places like the lakes in Italy, for example, they can go for like quite a lot of money because of the location that they're in. Like I've seen that some of them going for like over £30 a night or something. But some of them have some cool facilities and stuff. They're like really posh. Like they're not your regular campsites. Yeah, it depends if they want water and electricity. That's the thing. If they want the amenities and whatever they call it, like the utilities, I mean, then yeah, they'd have to pay more for that, wouldn't they? But yeah, 80 a week, I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's just the whole planning permission thing. I don't know if is it that hard to do, I mean, because that's something that would kind of put me off. It's like, oh, do I have to, but then again, you have to just kind of go through the awkward bit at the beginning and just, yeah. But yeah, I might just try and save up, get enough for a piece of land, and then just, yeah, I could have people live on that, and either in a caravan or pitch a tent or something. Anyway, hope you're all well tonight, everybody. Welcome to the live. Thank you for the 16 likes. Yeah, very nice, productive. What's that? Hello, yeah, hello lemon orange. Depends, yeah, I've just read that one. If I charge 80 a week and stuck, yeah, I've just read that already. Hang on a second. Am I missing any chat here? Hang on. Sorry, I just, yeah. Sunny, warm day here down under, oh cool. Yeah. It's just better to focus on solutions rather than problems. Well, let's talk about, okay, because the problem is, like I said, with housing, for example, and buying a cheap house can be a bit hard these days. Then we think, okay, well, what if we come together and try and buy a bit of land, and we could all just split on that? Or, like you said, you could buy some land and then rent out bits of it to other people. That way, you're actually making an income off your land then. So then it becomes an asset. No, it's not an attic. Oh, come live here on my land. We grow food. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Everybody okay? There's actually ways that you can get like static caravans for like next to nothing. Like there's some of them going like second-hand ones that are going cheap. You might say, well, what if they just crumble? Well, who cares? If they're going cheap, then you know. Like sometimes they can be quite expensive if you get them new. There's some even going for free. Yeah, they might be crumbling, but if it's free, then I'm fucking taking it, you know. If I get some land and I can see one for free or next to free, I'm fucking taking it. If it crumbles in 2 years, who cares? I mean, it's free, so as long as it keeps me warm or whatever, then and dry, as long as it's not got leaks and shit. Yeah, North Italy. Yeah, you've got Lake Garda and Lake Como. Nice out there, isn't it? I want to go there at some point and have a look. There's a lot of places in Italy I'd like to visit at some point. But yeah. They're like hedgehogs. I mean, they're cool. I mean, I like Sonic the Hedgehog. I used to like playing Sonic the Hedgehog games. Yeah. Anyway. What's that? Mansarde. Mansard is a French word, isn't it? Mansard. I've ever met a real hedgehog. I mean, I've seen them like roadkill, basically. You can get caravans that are not roadworthy and use it as a cabin instead of taking it from place to place. What do you mean? What do you mean use it as a cabin? You're on about like it's not... Can you explain about like how do you get it to where it needs to go then? You're saying you can get caravans that are not roadworthy. In about static caravans or something, or... Because you could get like a static caravan where you can just... Because some of these need like big equipment to get them around. Towed or over... Yeah, static caravans, yeah. Those are better for like living in, probably, because there's usually a bit more space in them, and... Yeah, whereas like the caravans that you told, they're a bit more compact, and some people might find that a bit not enough space for their needs or something. Okay, Sadia Azad. Really? I didn't know that. But yeah, static. So, you know, there's also like prefab homes that I was looking into, or modular homes. In fact, I think that they should just start building more modular homes. Like, that would probably be, in my opinion, one of the best solutions to the housing crisis. Build a bunch of modular homes, like proper ones. Like, a lot of this new technology, they could be doing more of that instead of wasting a bunch of material on, like, bricks and mortar and shit like that, you know, and just wasting a bunch of time. Because these take a while to build, whereas with prefabs, they can get them built in no time. You know what I mean? Because they use technology to build these things. You know, they're not like some built by, you know, all this hard work. I mean, they can get them up in a lot less time, and they're a lot cheaper. So yeah. Okay, thank you, G-Man. But yeah, the modular homes. It's just, let's say can I put modular homes on my own land, let's say, and it would say something like about planning permission, saying almost certainly require planning permission from your local council to use it as a permanent independent residence, while smaller non-permanent or ancillary structures like a garden room may fall under permitted development. A new permanent modular home is treated like any traditional building. It's not a bad thing living in the country anyway. I'm prepping for civil war or zombie apocalypse, but I need more income to get into a self-sufficient state. Yeah. So what is your plan on like becoming more self-sufficient, having maybe growing more food and things like that? Some even goes far to say about harvesting rainwater, because but then again, you might not have much of that where you are. If it's dry a lot, then good luck with that. Be alright if you're in some like temperate zone or whatever, where it's raining. Get good natural sources of water that you can just filter it. I don't know how true this is. I remember someone was saying that you can filter water through, was it marbles or something like that? again, I don't know how true all this is, but I've heard it's meant to help take some of the impurities out or something. I don't know. I'd have to look into that actually. Let's have a look. Is that a valid way to do it? So you could use, glass beads or stones, typically to act as a physical barrier against debris or to create a vortex effect for structuring water. Oh yeah, have you heard of structured water? Some call it easy water or something. Yeah, outdoor fishing. Okay, whatever. Stone, gravel, sand, etc. Yeah. So yeah, I've heard about that, about using some marbles or some pebbles or something like that to pass the water through it, and yeah. But there's this thing called, but it says it's not a substitute for purification. So is it a good way to do, say, like removing sediment from, like rainwater or something? But basically, anyway, that's so there was a thing called easy water. It's called the fourth phase of water. It's a gel-like structured state discovered near hydrophilic surfaces, acting as a battery that powers cells. It differs from liquid water by being negatively charged, viscous, and excluding solutes. It is promoted for increasing mitochondrial energy, reducing stress, and hydrating cells. So yeah, so is it the same thing as structured water then? Let's have a look. So yeah, it's considered a type of structured water. So it's apparently a gel-like substance. It's considered as like somewhere between solid and liquid. It's got an extra hydrogen and oxygen atom in the molecule. So H2O, instead of H2O, it's H3O2. That's why it's a more kind of what they call structured water. It's got a different consistency to it because it's got the extra atoms, which means that it's this kind of in-between kind of state. Hello, Dagon, have you heard about that? Easy water. It's a type of water that's, so I'm just looking into that a bit. So it says here, natural sources, raw green juices, fresh spring water, and coconut water. So, yeah, some say that it can be better than regular water. H3O2 benefits. Let's have a look. So, hello, Medits. How you doing tonight? Hope you're well. Some are saying it's more hydrating or something. Hydrates the cells better. Also known as structured hexagonal or exclusion zone easy water, is proposed to be a gel-like fourth phase of water found in cells, fruits and vegetables that may offer improved hydration, better nutrient absorption, and increased energy. It is claimed to support detoxification and improve fascia health, though scientifically most of these benefits lack strong high-quality human studies to support them. So, Oh yeah, moving water. I've heard about that. Structuring water or something. No, I'm not. I'm not a religious sorry, I'm not a political person really. I know I talk about politics, but I mean, I don't support any of these politicians. Is what I mean. So yeah, I'll have to look more into it. But apparently, there's limited evidence on it. You could say that there's not a lot of, like motivation to really kind of prove whether this works or not. Push-ups. I mean, I've not tried for a while, but I did like over 30 once, but anyway. So, yeah, some are claiming it could be a scam as a marketing tactic. The chemical formula itself being inaccurate by many, so it's considered inaccurate by many. So, but there's a thing called structured water, and yeah, I'd have to look more into this sort of thing. But some are saying it's a scam, saying that the only advantage is not that it changes anything about your system. It's just absorbed slightly faster by the body, and the body already. I mean, so look. But yeah, just yeah. Let's have a look. So it's just water or something, and let's have a look. Then a hexagon requires 6 points. It fails the first hurdle, and that's before I invoke anything like science or reasoning. I'm just counting here. 100% bullshit marketing. Honestly, it's staggering. Companies can get away with this BS. So maybe it's not as like good as what they make it out to be. So you have to be careful about this like alternative health stuff, but is structured water really any better than any other water? Remember there was this alkaline water bullshit that were promoted a while ago, like being this kind of thing that is great for you or something like that, but well, there was this whole acid alkaline thing. I think that there is something to like eating foods that alkalize the body. I mean, the blood is slightly alkaline, so we probably want our body to be in a bit more of an alkaline state. And that if we create a lot of acid in the body, that causes a lot of inflammation. And yeah, there needs to be certain amounts of acids, like stomach acids and things like that. But too much acidity in the body can cause a lot of inflammation, I believe. Hello, Crystal. How you doing? Hope you're well. Got a lot of spam in here, haven't we? Oh yeah, I've got amino acids, but I'm talking about like in terms of systemically, in terms of like in your blood and in your, yeah, is it like, anyway, talking in terms of, shit, I think I got rid of the wrong person. I don't know, but anyway, hope you're all well tonight, everybody. Anyway, so, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know if there's anything to this whole kind of alkalizing effects of, if say like you're creating a lot of systemic acidity or something, that could be bad or something. There's some people were saying that a lemon, even though it's acid, let's have a look. See whether that's true or not. What it says here about no, lemon juice is acidic, but after metabolism it creates alkaline byproducts that can affect urine pH, though it has minimal impact on your bloods. Highly regulated pH balance is 7.35 to 7.45. While the body maintains its pH, the alkaline ash concept suggests lemons contribute to a less acidic environment in bodily fluids, but health benefits from lemon water likely come from hydration and nutrients, not altering blood pH. So, yeah, because I've heard this theory called alkaline ash. I think that it's best to just kind of like think of it more, instead of thinking about stuff in terms of acid and alkaline, think about inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. Like there's foods that are highly inflammatory, like a lot of this processed crap and a lot of this oily substances and whatever that people eat and whatever, you know, like seed oils and things that could be quite inflammatory if you eat them in high quantities. But yeah, so like, whereas you've got things such as fruit and vegetables that are generally going to be considered more anti-inflammatory. They have a lot of things like antioxidants and things that actually help to buffer inflammation and oxidative stress and things like that. So yeah, so you want to try and you know, have a good amount of fruit and vegetables in your diet, I would say, and that's going to like reduce inflammation. So that's what I'd recommend anyway. But anyway, hope you're all well tonight. It's gone very slow in here now, so yeah. But basically, yeah, maybe the whole thing of like the acid and alkaline could be some myth, but I would just more kind of think of it in terms of, is the food contributing to inflammation or is it fighting against it? It's usually one or the other. I don't think there's a lot of foods that are neutral. Like it's like there was this picture where it says the food's either fighting or feeding cancer. Although never under pressure. So it's like either your food's fighting against cancer or feeding it. So if you have loads of McDonald's, then you're feeding cancer, is what they'll say. But if you eat like kale and spinach and like berries and things like that, then you're fighting against it with all the antioxidants and things. Yeah, I did. Yeah. But nobody's perfect though, so you just have to do the best that you can, really. Just try to focus on eating mostly whole foods. You could have a treat once in a while, but it's just, as long as you base your food around like relatively healthy stuff, then it shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, time we're on now. Yeah, probably gonna be going in a bit, but yeah, the easy water thing might just be some kind of joke, like someone saying it's a scam. We have to be careful what we believe in, really. Hello, if you know, you know. How you doing? I think I'm gonna get going, guys. Thank you all for hanging out. I'll see you all tomorrow. Alright, bye for now.